show. We're on air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls about the Jazz.
Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome back to Rangers Radio. Rangers 2. Oh, Scotchy, is that how you would say it, Ibrox? Scoopy. All right, I'll take allocation lessons for your good self, mate. 0. Decent first half, pretty poor second half, in my opinion. But joining myself, Oxshare, on the show this evening, it's Ibrox. How are we doing, Ibrox?
Doing well, mate. As you say, it's 2-0 win. That's all you can really say. We should have won 3, 4 or 5 pretty comfortably. Just a few people had to take a bit more care on the ball and with their shots and chances and to be more comfortable. But it's 2 goals, it's a clean sheet. Now we go across to Macedonia on Tuesday and finish the job, mate, because I think we can easily score a few goals there. So I'm no overly concerned.
2-0 is a decent result, but obviously you were wanting to put the tie to bed. There was a few bad misses. I think Windass had a couple of headers he could have done better on. There was wrong decisions made in front of goal. I think Connor Golston, where he should put it across the goal when he tried to do a more difficult header, and obviously there was shots that went awry, wrong decisions made. For me, we just lacked a wee bit of spark in the final third, a lot of huffing and puffing with no great creativity, but hopefully that will come, mate.
No, definitely so, and it was nice to see again the last 15-20 minutes when young Glenn Middleton came on again, mate. I'm not trying to bum him up too much here, but he's not going to be bullied off the ball. He's got a trick or two up his sleeve. He can cut into the box with the ball. He can turn back. He can do anything he likes. And I know a lot of people on social media were raving about him as well, as so were a couple of the commentators, Big Peter Lovencrantz and that as well. So between him and it looks like Arfield picked up a bit of a knock, but as the manager just says, he'll need to be assessed in the morning. So,
what did you make of the boy on loan for Liverpool when he came on?
I thought he was dreadful, mate. I don't know if I'm being too overcritical. He's still young and it was his first game, but he didn't fill me with too much confidence. All
right, I wouldn't went as far as dreadful. I thought he had some nice touches, covered the ground well. Could have had a penalty. I'd like to see it again. Mm-hmm. A nice bit of skill. Young, big lad.
He's a big boy, aye. Again, maybe a wee bit of nerves, mate. Maybe that's all it was. But it was just when it was a wee bit further back in the park, when he was trying to pass the ball up the field, a few of the balls went a bit wayward. But you could say that about quite a lot of people in the park tonight. So
if people want to join us and give their thoughts, what's the number?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Or you can join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online. We've been brought in by the one and only Old School Blue. We want to hear your thoughts on tonight's game in particular, but anything Rangers related. We'll always talk about Ibrox, eh?
Oh, definitely, mate. Good to hear we could get some new callers in as well. Guy's there. Thoughts on the game as well. It's always nice to hear new callers, but we've got callers from all around the world, mate. Not all forms of social media now, so everybody can get a chance to come in.
I can't. That Old School Blues got on something new every day, isn't he?
Brilliant, mate. What, Periscope. I love it, mate. I love Periscope. It's a new form of, well, it's not a new form of social media, but it's one of the newer ones.
I'll take your word for it, mate. I'll take your word for it. I'm still in Bebo. For me, obviously, defence was under a lot of pressure. That one in the first half, and the boy at the top of the bar, that was a bit really. Did a couple of corners, front post, went wide. I thought that Golston had a good game for me, mate. If I'm being honest, come getting the ball and his distribution was okay. Shows a lot of pace. I like the look of him so far. Katic was a wee bit quieter, but that's okay. The two fullbacks obviously try to help out going forward. Tav put in some nice balls, particularly in the first half. Tav was it was a Tav-like performance. Some excellent crosses, and then sometimes he makes a wrong decision, but he done okay. Arfield and McCrory were quiet for me. Rossi, but I think we forget how young Ross is, Ibrox, eh?
Oh, aye, definitely, mate. And obviously, he's not had a full season yet, mate, because he has had a lot of injuries as well, mate, last season. But once he gets some more games under his belt this season, I think we'll see the best of young Ross. But for me, mate, I was going to say young Flanagan there again, he's no young. But Flanagan as well, mate. I like to look at Flanagan as well in tonight's performance. But again, I think we mentioned it before the show as well as you mentioned it on Monday, I think, Ox, about Candeas cannot play in a 3, mate. He looked well at his depth.
I thought he was pretty poor. I think we've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Evening, guys.
How are we doing, all right?
Number. Yes.
Yeah. What was your thoughts?
I was very disappointed in the performance tonight, particularly in the second half. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting from the team because we've got a number of new players, and it always takes a while for guys to gel and know what know what the team's about. But I think looking at the players that we've had that have rolled over from last season. We've still got the same old issues, I think, in terms of Windass going completely missing. Personally, I think Murphy flatters to deceive a little bit, even though he scored tonight. But, when you contrast what Middleton done in the left-hand side and they come on in comparison to what Murphy done while he's been on there.
Do you think Murphy can be on the wrong side? Do you think Murphy can be on the right side?
I'm not sure. I never like playing right-footed players on the left-hand side. I always think it limits what you're going to do in terms of crossing the ball. I felt it even watching the England game the other night, for example, watching Ashley Young. I always feel it limits the left-hand side of a team when the left-hand winger or left midfielder is a right-footed player, because they always step inside to do stuff, and it always becomes quite predictable, I think, and it becomes quite easy to defend against. So
you want to let the punters listening who you are in the lobby?
Sorry, it's Cushy number.
Cushy number, right, Cushy. Thanks very much, mate. So the people know who they're when they give you stick when you're finished calling, yeah?
So, I just feel as if some of the players that we've already got that are hangover from last season are still underwhelming, and particularly I think Windass has been very disappointing. Frankly, I see.
Would you take $3 million for him?
I would take $1 million for him tomorrow. I think he's an absolute liability. I think he's a man down. I think if he scores every so often, then fantastic. But if you're asking him to play in a system, if you're asking him to do a job, if you're asking him to be tactically aware, that is not Josh Windass's game. If he's got the ball in front of him and he's racing into goal and he's not getting to think about that, that's what Josh Windass wants to do, right? Because he doesn't need to think about anything. He can just, in the goal against Celtic, for example, in the last game, is a point in question. He wins the ball off the Celtic boy at the back. He's got a gaping, yardage in front of him. He just runs into and then lashes the ball into the back of the net. That's Josh Windass. But if you're asking him to play in any kind of system or anything like that, forget it. The boy's just not got it. So, and I think, running through the season,
is he good enough? Is he good enough?
I don't think he is good enough. But I think there's a few other players who are not good enough. And I don't expect all of them to be replaced within one transfer window. That's asking way too much of Steven Gerrard. But I think I could see why he would hang on to some of these players, such as Windass. Because you can't replace an entire squad within one transfer window. However, if you are relying on these people to keep you in a job in a 4-year contract, and as supporters we're relying on people like Windass and Murphy to actually win us championships, then that's not going to happen because these players are not good enough.
Windass, I thought Morelos also didn't have the best of games. I thought he shows the odd glimpses, but he's petulant, and sometimes he just he looks as if he's non-interested, if I'm being really honest,
I don't mind his petulance, right? A lot of players are petulant and they still do a job in a park. So the actual body language and things like that, to be honest, I couldn't care what his body language is like if he's putting in a shift and he's contributing to the game. And, you know, we historically, I think Morelos has done that for us, and he's led the line reasonably well, even though you're absolutely right, his body language looks, sometimes it could be far better than it actually is.
It might just be his nature, right enough. It might just be his nature.
Exactly, and he's got the big petty lip elements to it, but, you know, he's led the line well for us in the past, you know, and frankly, I would keep Morelos, but I think if we're asking a front three of Morelos and Murphy and Windass to win us this league this year, then I think at the very least 2 of the 3 of that are not up to the task.
What's your thoughts on Candeias playing in that more withdrawn midfield role?
I don't think it suits him. I think Candeias is a player who, when he gets the ball, the first thing he thinks of is crossing the ball into the box. You know, that's what he wants to do. That's where he feels comfortable doing it. And I think when you look back at last season, any time we've pushed Candeias further into the centre of the park, is typically the games he gets substituted in very, very quickly because he seems to be a little bit lost. I think he's struck up a very good partnership with Tavernier, but that's him playing as a right winger, and he knows what Tav's doing, and Tav knows what he's doing, and they both of them work well together. But I think asking Candeias to do another job is probably just a bit too much for him, you know. So I certainly wouldn't put Windass out as a right winger and sub Candeias because Candeias can't do a job further in the park. I would be subbing Windass and putting Candeias out into his natural position.
All right, but did you not think that was understands how quickly Steven Gerrard's got the club? We've got a couple of callers that on the 12th of July, Rangers had no left footers playing.
Well, it's very staunch.
Anyway, I'll come back to you, Cushy. We've been joined by Cairo and Big Ulster. Evening, gentlemen. Evening, Cairo first, then Big Ulster. Evening, Cairo. Oh. Evening, Ulster.
Hello.
How we doing, mate? I'm surprised to see you today.
Well, I got a wee bit too drunk on the 11th night, so I had to be good today.
All right.
Took my
Thoughts,
out.
mate? Thoughts?
Well, I thought we started off pretty well. The first half weren't fantastic, but for the first game, I thought, you know, it wasn't going too bad, to be honest. And then, obviously, I think the second half was sort of tailed off a wee bit, and that team looked a bit dangerous. There was a left winger, I can't remember his name for them. He looked like a decent player, could a couple of nice shots and stuff. But, well, 2-0, you can't complain. But I think I'd like to see, in my opinion, I'd like to see Murphy playing in the Windass role and give Glenn Middleton a start out on left wing.
All right.
I think Windass for me just, I don't know, it's the same problems. I'm willing to give any player a bye ball, of course, but it's only the start of the season. But I'm fearful that we're having the same problems with Windass that we had at times last season, that he disappears in games, and Morelos as well. Like, he was just a header again. That's a problem for him. He needs to work on that. His header in the 6-yard box sometimes is can be very weak. But all in all, it's 2-0. I can't complain, you know.
Cushy, do you think there's
I can complain.
Oh, here we go. You back, Cairo? How we doing, mate? All right?
I'm doing fine. Aye. Hello, underwhelmed though.
Aye,
hello, how are you doing, Ulster?
Doing well, buddy.
What the music are your way this way, Ulster?
Oh, aye. Plenty more tomorrow as well.
More questions and answers, Cairo, eh?
I was underwhelmed. I thought the first half is Ulster says now, you know, first game together, first serious game together, they kind of held it well. Their wee left back was the best player in the park. I was totally underwhelmed that second half. Where was this speedy, fit, running, playing quick, fast 1-2 football that we heard about? It wasn't much yet, was it? And Morelos, for me, I'm sorry, I'd attain the 5 or 6 million. I don't think he has it. And you see when that game there, at the start of the season, you're expecting him to be up for a wee bit. He was doing, he was petulant, he was huffy. You say to yourself, fuck, it's the start of the season.
All right, Carol, what's your language?
Sorry, I know.
On this glorious day as well, you should know better.
I know, but just
Frustrated.
Frustrating, aye.
I'll go to Cushy and then I'll come back to you with this question, Cairo, then Ulster and obviously Ibrox. Cushy, the one thing I did notice that was there was lack of creativity for the midfield. The boy McCrory sometimes, because he's only learning the game, and sometimes the natural instinct is to go with the centre half, so that left some I feel isolated at times. Who worked hard, but we still just didn't make a lot of passes for that area of the pitch for me. Thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure about Ross McCrory, to be honest with you. I don't think we appear to be trying to find a place for him to a certain extent, and I don't think that's ever good for the club or for the player. We've tried him at centre half, and he's only a young boy, and I get that, but he's been found wanting a little bit at centre half, and then we've tried to, last season we tried to push him into centre midfield, and mostly we pushed him into centre midfield in order to try and shore up the midfield because it was so bad and because our centre of defence was so bad. So we added or tried to add a little bit of steel into the midfield. I still think he's a little bit of a square peg in a round hole in that midfield. But regardless of Ross McCrory or not, we are absolutely crying out for a creative midfielder in the centre of the park. Absolutely crying out for it.
I get it, mate. Cairo, thoughts?
I think that summed up pretty well. I think we are trying to fit Ross McCrory in. They need a bit of a player. He's young. My player at man of the match was Arfield. That was my man of the match for the Rangers until they took him off. Certainly didn't think it was Tavernier. That shot that guy hit the crossbar way was purely down to Tavernier either having two players and no shouting for help, which you'd expect.
Oh, he went chasing the ball like a schoolboy and left the boy wide down.
He did, and that's one of his faults. So there was a fair bit tonight players that we had last season being exposed, and not much of the new ones shown. Although I think I was quite happy with Arfield. I thought it gave us a wee bit dig in the middle of the park and kind of played the ball about. But creativity is a premium, I think.
Fair comment. Big Ulster, then Ibrox.
Yeah, I agree with some of the comments there, but I think it's going to take a wee while too, for everybody to gel, especially the midfield. But they'll work it out. They'll learn. I think our McCrory, as you guys say, brilliant tackler of the ball on that side of his game. I like that side of his game, but sometimes when it comes to creativity, he can be lacking. But that's just something that hopefully, like Gerard, with these great midfielders we have that are coaching, team him and hopefully they'll be able to train them, with better aspects if it comes up. It's going to take a wee while for McCrory because he's not been. I don't think in his youth level he's ever had a creative side to his game. He's always played that more defensive player, so it's going to take time. Or else maybe you'll see that guy Ajaya, I think his name, who came on tonight. A few times he maybe held on to the ball a wee bit too long, but he was starting to come onto the game a wee bit more, and he was dropped back in good positions to actually get the ball so he could drive towards the defence and try and create stuff. So I think he might be a good goal signing for us this season, to be honest.
Long legs.
Ibrox, what was big, to be honest.
Ibrox, what was your view in the creativity?
There wasn't a lot of creativity coming for the central midfield, so I quite agree with what Cushy and Cairo and that were saying. It's obviously something we're going to have to either get into the club, or hopefully there's somebody there that Mr. Gerrard and that have maybe got their eye on, because they would be able to coach that into somebody. But I think, I don't know, I'm just really happy with young McCrory. Maybe it's me, and it's because obviously I followed him a lot throughout the youth development and everything else, but I think he'll eventually turn into a quality central defensive midfielder. He did pick up a lot of injuries last season, especially when he picked up, obviously when we were over in Florida, and it put him out of the game for a couple of months, and it was just unfortunate. But I think given a precise run of games in that sort of role, that it could turn into a very, very good player in that role.
The problem we've got, Ibrox, and I'll go to Cushy after you, mate. The problem we've got when we're in there and a team's got 10 men behind you, your defensive midfielder who's got that job has got to have met his game. than just tackling. He's got to be able to go and create, pass, join the attack, because there's no need for him to sit because the other team's that deep behind the ball. Cushy?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question is, do you need a defensive midfielder?
Fair comment.
When you're playing at home, you've already got 4 at the back. And we're again.
You could get barred in your first call, mate, for talking too much sense.
Well, I don't think. As I say, I think we're trying to shoehorn Ross McCrory into a position a little bit, and I think tonight when you're at home, it's a packed house at Ibrox, and we're playing. Did they come 4th in the Macedonian League? And I think we could possibly afford to be a bit more expansive and not have a defensive midfielder in it. That being said, who would you put in place of him that is going to be more forward thinking? Is going to open up defences. And I'm not really sure we have that. I'm not sure we have that type of player. And I think we really need. I was a little bit disappointed in Arfield tonight, I have to say. I thought, given his performance in the friendly, that he would kind of kick on from that and provide a bit more of an attacking threat. And he was a little bit. I felt he was a little bit anonymous tonight. So without that threat from Arfield, and then McCrory, who has a tendency to sit in a little bit, then I think what centre midfield looks a little bit bereft of ideas. And I think if Steven Gerrard is not finished in his signings for this season, then I think we've got an absolute priority is finding someone who has got a bit of quality in the centre midfield in an attacking sense. Don't get me wrong. I think there'll be times this season that Ross McCrory will be extremely handy as a defensive midfielder. And allow us to maybe sit deep in some games where we're away and we're maybe up against the cosh a little bit. But was tonight one of those games? I'm not sure it was. Maybe because it's simply our first game in Europe and the debacle last season against Progress. Then the manager's just been a little bit cautious, and I wouldn't blame him for that because
is that game last season, bizarrely, which has nothing to do with this season, put us under pressure with this tie. If that makes any sense, it would never usually be there.
I don't think there's a person in Ibrox tonight wasn't thinking about that Progress game where 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go.
Fair comment, mate. What was your view on, after you go to Ibrox with this one, your view on the 2 centre-backs, mate?
I thought they were very comfortable. I thought it looked good in the ball. I think that looks like a pairing that is going to get better. So I can't fault really the 2 centre-backs at this stage. I think we have to see them up against better opposition because from an attacking sense, the team we were up against tonight didn't really go up against and create a lot where they had to defend over a period of time. But I certainly think that looked promising. And certainly when Middleton came on at the end of the game, I thought he was an absolute breath of fresh air.
The 2 centre-backs, can't judge them the 2 games so far, but what they have showed, they've got pace. Yeah,
I think they've got a little bit of quality, and I think we've been lacking over the last few years in that. And one of the things that I was really pleased about when I seen Steven Gerrard's signings was the emphasis on the centre of defence, because it's been a shambles over the last 2 or 3 years from Matt Warburton, making last minute signings to almost not even considering it as a part of his team. I think we've been really remiss. I think Pedro had a little bit of a look at it and thought maybe Cardoso and Alves were the answer, and obviously they weren't. But I think the centre of defence can win you games when your team isn't playing very well, and it's an absolute priority in a team. And to see that Gerrard is focusing on that element, and even the talk of some of the signings that he's looking to make, those are centre defenders. So I think that's good. I think that shows that you've got to build from the back for a team and make it strong from the back, and those guys will win you games when the rest of your team is playing absolute rubbish.
Fair comment. Ibrox.
I agree with what has just been said there. They've got both of them have got plenty of pace. I know we've got to take into the account the teams that we've been playing, but they look to me to be decisive. They know where to be at certain times in the game, which is also good. When it comes to set pieces as well, they're going to be much of a benefit as well, because as it says, the last few seasons we've not had really any height in our team. So basically, when you've been having free kicks and corners, they've been absolutely no use in the last couple of years. So they've got that to their bow as well.
Ibrox, just cut across you for a second. There's somebody's trying to phone the old call for earlier on this evening. If you want to come in, you phone Rangers Radio. Carry on, Ibrox.
But also I agree with what Cushion was saying there as well. Taking account into opposition who we're playing, but when we come up against stronger teams who are going to attack more, then we'll see what they're really made of as well. So.
Big Ulster.
Yeah, I'm happy with the two defenders. Goldson did tonight, I thought, was very, very good. Anything he was asked to do or needed to do, he was in the right positions to get the ball and pass it out. I think it was one of the times when we were only 1-0 up. He done a wee nice 1-2 and tried to get himself up into the box. I think he only done that the one time, but we couldn't get the ball into him. But it was a nice wee move by him. So I think we're okay there, but we have to wait and see till we're challenged. When we're going to get teams that are obviously better.
You can't judge it.
It's hard to judge, but they were solid enough. I think. Yeah.
I mean, last year the cry was no defenders, wasn't
it? Last 7 seasons.
Aye, man. See what I've done there.
I like the way you did that. See, the only thing I will say to you is, this is when we're talking about midfielders, and obviously when Davis was talked about, I know that mightn't happen, but that's what we're missing, I think. Someone who can win the ball, but also can create that class in the midfield. I think we need that in there, definitely. Someone like that.
Stephen Davis, I think he's about 33, but undoubtedly, I mean, obviously, with the circumstances, he left the club, went to Southampton, cut it, held his own, had great performances for Southampton. Obviously, Northern Ireland turned out to be a class player. You're right, mate. Somebody with that. It's his intelligence that we miss. Somebody with that intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh, the two substitutes come on. The two young boys. I mean, very young. I mean, I think they're only 18 and 21. Am I right, Ibrox?
I remember about that, mate. Middleton's about 18 and Ajaria's 20, 21. So.
You know, I thought the two of them had gave us a bit more positivity because you try to get that second goal. They gave us a bit more spark. And I'll be honest with you, I think it was a bit of a soft penalty. Thoughts, mate?
I thought the Liverpool one actually. I thought he made a difference when he came on. To be honest with you, I thought he tried to get on the ball. He tried to make the passes. It didn't always work for him, but it's his first 20 minutes for Rangers packed house at Ibrox. You know, so given the circumstances, you know, and he must have felt, you know, the apprehension that was in the air when it was 1-0 with 10 minutes to go. You know, so I thought, given the circumstances, I felt that the Liverpool one done very, very well when he come on. I was very impressed with the fact that he was trying to show for the ball, he was trying to make things happen, you know, and he seemed to, when Middleton come on after that, he seemed to gravitate towards Middleton as well, and the two of them tried to you know, make a lot of combinations and try to get on the ball and make things happen on the left hand side, you know, and. You know, when you look at the team and you look at a more experienced right-hand side where Murphy moved to, with Taverna there and things like that, actually the focus of the game in the last 20 minutes completely shifted to the left-hand side, and that was where I think the focus of our two substitutions actually, you know, they were put on in those positions, and I think that, you know, it kind of bring back my very first point. I was disappointed with the showing of the guys who are the more experienced players, because the guys that come on with 20 minutes to go or whatever really showed, you know, what I think that we were expecting to see, and showed the hunger that we were expecting to see. And, you know, you're talking about a loan from Liverpool, and a 19-year-old boy is Middleton.
Something like that, mate.
And
ages with myself.
And when you take their age and you take the circumstances of the situation, where, let's be honest, some people would have been on and just went into their shell and just played the easy ball, and I just didn't feel that was what these two boys were trying to do when they come on, and I think that bodes well for the future for them. Definitely, I was very impressed.
Talking about people who always show hunger, we've been joined by Rudy Bear. Rudy, thoughts?
Let me tell you, mate, it's a long time since you were 19. I'm
glad you heard that one, mate.
I just had I phoned the ring line. I ended up talking to Cairo for about 5 minutes.
You having your own show?
Aye, we had a wee chat in Cairo. It was
more questions than answers.
Aye, definitely. I was expecting a far better performance than that. For me, in all honesty, the only part of the team that worked for me tonight was the defence. They looked pretty solid, apart from, but they went through that wee sort of 5-6 minute spell where I think they had about 4 corners or something. The boy clipped the top of the bar. Apart from that, really, I don't know. I mean, Connor Goldson actually, for me, was the man of the match, really. I don't understand Tav getting it, to be honest. I don't know what that was about.
Couple of crosses and obviously got the penalty. He most likely gets the penalty the time you fill out your card in the stadium to hand it in for man of the match, mate.
Aye, yeah. So, but it certainly wasn't a man of the match performance by any stretch of the imagination. And I was just saying to Cairo there, see when we go there next week, they'll give us a bit of a game at next week. I'm telling you, honestly, they'll give us a game at next week. I would have took the 3-0, as I said before the game started. The clean sheet, good. We're going there with the clean sheet. I'm going to say this because I said it all last season. I said that possibly the season before.
Get it off your chest. You're going to feel better for it.
Windass, man, it's time to. That boy said 3 seasons at us, Ox. It is not working. When are we going to see that? When are somebody at Rangers going to see that it's not working with that boy? That's 3 seasons now, Ox, and it's the same problems with him. But he's not the only one. Morelos needs to get his shooting boots on and get them on quickly now. And he needs to get rid of this stupid attitude, this big pated lip. I just said to Cairo there, did you see where he put his head into the boy's face? When they had a wee bit of an altercation. Gregory Vignal and Tom Commentator were saying, look, just walk away. He was lucky he never got sent off for that. I mean, that was just stupidity.
Petulance. Cushy, Guy, Rudy, your thoughts on Windass, mate? I don't know if he's heard them.
No, I would get shot of Windass as soon as a decent offer came in. I would take. I mean, people are talking about in the forums, etc., 3 million and things like that. I would, if someone offered me 1 million for Windass right now, I would absolutely take it, because I think it's a complete and utter liability in the football team. I don't think he's got a football brain. I don't think if you're asking him to play in any kind of tactics or position, he knows what he's supposed to be doing. I don't think he's a football player, but of the standard that Rangers need.
Yeah, I agree with 100%. I said that all last season. The boy's been there, as I mentioned, 3 seasons now, and he's just not getting any better. There's no improvement for me. I never see any improvement in him, and I don't think he's capable of improving. And sounds like I'm going on here like we lost tonight. We won 2-0. We kept a clean sheet, and that for me was the best part of the game, was the defence. I thought they were solid. I liked the boy Flanagan tonight. Connor Goldson done really well, I thought. Katic just strolled through the games, a bit quiet, but strolled through the game. But Windass and Morelos really need to get their act together for me, because see if they don't, it's time for them to go. I just said to Cairo that I'd have took the money for Morelos in January. Whatever it happened to be, 5, 6, 7, 8 million, whatever it was, we should have took that in January. I said it at the time, and I still say it. We should have took it. And I would literally drive Windass to wherever he wants to go to down south, just to get him out of the club.
You've always been a fan. He's an enigma, mate. For me, he's got ability, but what he lacks is heart, mate. Heart. Oh, wait a minute, we got a caller coming in. How we doing, caller?
How's it going, guys? Bridgman here.
All right. First time caller?
First time caller, that's me, yep.
Here's your thoughts, mate.
I think I honestly think we've done enough to get us through. I can't see them scoring 3 goals past us. But from a play perspective, well, you saw yourself, big chunk of the second half, they were all over us on play, that is, you know. They never caused us any great troubles. The keeper wasn't perturbed at all, I don't think, during that game. But my goodness gracious, we missed, 5 chances in the first half. 3 of them from Windass, I think. Wow. There's some way, but midfield wasn't functioning at all in the second half, was it? What do you think?
There's times in the second half we couldn't get the ball off them. We couldn't get near them in the second half for about 25.
No tackling at all in the second half in the midfield. The midfield wasn't there. The only person that was tackling was the boy Ross McCrory. And once again, as we've spoke about him in the very recent past, he's a half a yard slow with his tackles and he injures himself, things like that. So I thought that there's a lot of folk missing tonight. I think Mr. Morelos has to have a good look at himself in the mirror, and Mr. Windass, seriously, guys, seriously.
Yeah.
They're just. Anyway, I'll go listen in. I'm just going to be here for a wee minute. Yeah.
All right, mate. Good to hear from you. Obviously, if we don't catch you, we'll catch you tomorrow night. All right, buddy?
No bother, bud. No bother.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
What a man. He'll be going to the fish shop, mate.
Go for these fish and chips, won't he?
Aye. I think he gets fritters on a Thursday, mate. He gets a treat on a Thursday. Aye. He's laughing because he knows it's true. Kishi, how did you find the show? I think this is the first time you've called in,
It's the first time I've called in. Yeah, I've been. I've listened into it on numerous occasions and I've enjoyed it. But I thought, I started the new season. I may as well turn over a new leaf and phone in Rangers Radio.
Fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you. Enjoyed it. Must be on drugs, Rudy.
Whatever you do, Cushy, don't talk too much sense because you make the rest of us look bad, mate. You know what I mean? Gary did that. Wheels does that. He talks too much sense. You know what I mean? But,
no, and a point in the division made when he phoned in. You know, there is some context. We did win. You know, we've won 2-0. You know, we can get through into the away leg with some relative confidence. You know, and the team will gel and it will get better. You know, so there's definitely some positivity, and I think it's worth kind of stating those points without us all coming on to the Rangers Radio and some of the forums and just being negative about all the kind of the attacking options that we had, which are pretty poor. But that being said, you know, it is definitely worth highlighting the fact that, you know, these are the same issues that we had last year, I think, in terms of Windass, you know, in terms of, you know, some of the calls I've talked about Morales, the lack of creativity for midfield. You know, These are all things that haunted us last year. And while it is looking better in certain aspects of the team, some of the stuff is still exactly the same.
I'll tell you what I would do. See, next week, I put Windass on the bench and I play that young boy Middleton. What is he, 18, 19-year-old, something like that. And I'd give that boy a start next week and just see how, because that boy just looks to me like he's like a fish in water to me. He gets on the ball and he makes things happen. I'd give that boy a start next week and I'd sit Windass on the bench. So to be honest,
I think he deserves a start. I think he's absolutely shown enough in the last couple of games that we've seen him that he deserves a start. It's not, and that's got nothing to do with how Windass has played or how Windass is performing or nothing. I think Middleton's done it on merit. You know, regardless of what Windass is doing, Middleton has shown that he's worth a start on merit. So absolutely, why not start him?
You're a big fan, Ibrox, aren't you? You like the boy Middleton?
I've been a huge fan, mate. Especially watching the youth development and that as well, mate. He came up and he's either scoring 2 goals every other game or he's getting 2 assists every other game. He's got pace, he's got trickery. He's a sort of player who won't get pushed off the ball, or he won't get pushed off the ball easily. I'm really excited about him. I don't want to just bum him up too much, mate, because we've kind of did that in the past with some players, but this young boy, mate, is going to be something completely different, mate. We done it with John Fleck back in the day, and he was getting Higmead is the new Wayne Rooney and all that. I'm not going to do that with this young man because he's got something special about him, and I'll let him build up gradually, sell, and he can do his top one apart.
Bit like yourself, Rudy, very baby-faced, eh?
Do you know, it's funny that Ibrox should mention Fleck there because he's got the same kind of build and everything, you know, he's got that stocky build, the square face and everything, you know. But I know the boy, you know, Kishy's right. On merit alone, the boy deserves a wee go. I would certainly start with him next week. I don't think he can do any worse than anybody that was there the night. But Morelos really's got to get his shooting boots on. I think, I don't know, I mean, 2-0, going there 2-0 next week. I got a wee bit more confidence in defence than I had last season. The defence was woeful last season. As I said when I first came on there, you know, Goldson played well, I thought. But, do you know, I think I've just got a feeling they're going to give us a real game mate over there. I think they'll give us a real game. I think they'll take loads of confidence for the fact that we could only score one goal for open play. And then
I think the problem they've got, Rudy, if they will come out, it'd be easier for us to pick us off because literally they were sort of playing a 4-5-1, weren't they? And stifled, you know.
Yeah. I mean, British stop us for playing, you know, especially in our final third sort of thing. You know, I mean, but for me, I don't see them playing like that next week.
No, they might not. Big Ulster, in you come, mate.
No, I'm just going to put a couple of quotes in of Stephen George's after-match interview. It's just obviously we've been saying
was he asking for me?
He was asking for you. He says, "Where is Ox? Hope he's talking good only on that radio."
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
No, I think he's actually got the same sort of concerns as most of us here, without naming names. He says we deserved the second goal, and it could have been 3, 4, or 5 if we had been more clinical. OVAs looked like a penalty. Alfredo didn't help himself. It means when he done a wee bit of a jump, and then the last thing he says in the game just was the only thing I'm concerned about is our finishing. We should have been more comfortable in that game. So I think Stephen George, a wee bit like ourselves there, it's just maybe in forward areas where he isn't too happy, which is good to hear.
I think what you're going to get for the manager, Cushy, is you'll get an honest assessment.
Yeah, I'm not sure I entirely agree with him. I think the most concerning area for me was the ability for the midfielders to create chances for the forwards rather than actual forwards finishing. You know, I don't recall tonight many one-on-ones, for example, that we missed. You know, or glaring chances that we missed. I think Morelos' header in the first half was an absolute sitter, and he should have done better with it. You know, but I don't recall some instances where it was. We really should have scored there. You know, we really should have scored there. I think we need to be creating better chances for our forwards to score, and that for me, I think too many of them tonight were half chances, and we didn't score them. You know, but I would rather we concentrated on putting people in the midfield who can create better chances for our forwards, so that the percentage of actual scoring and it isn't a half chance, it's a quarter chance, if it's a real chance, and they've got a better chance of actually putting the ball in the back of the net. Then, you know, so you know, I can see what he's saying, and far be it from me to say that Steven Gerrard is is wrong in any way, shape, or form. But I think, you know, I think we still need a creative spark in the midfield that is creating better chances for our forwards than some of the chances that we're creating at the moment. And those better chances, that more creative midfielder, the more creative midfielders will create better chances for the forwards, who will have a better chance of scoring, and we won't have this issue, hopefully.
A man that's always scoring is Ibrox loyal. What do you think of the manager summing up of the game?
I see it's been a fair assumption, mate, the way it came across. The only thing that worried me as well, that it wasn't a 3, 4 or 5, but I'm not as concerned as maybe Rudy was about going there, mate, because as you says, if they try and come out by any shape of the imagination, we'll get a couple of goals by them, and I see that as not been me being too over the top. I can see at least scoring a couple over there, but the manager was right. the only thing that worried me as well was the strikers. The defence seemed comfortable enough for what they had to deal with. It wasn't a lot they had to deal with, but what they had to deal with was comfortable. For me, McCrory and Arfield, didn't have the greatest of games, and maybe if they'd done a solid game, we might have had a good couple of goals. But I'll take a 2-0 and a clean sheet and go over there next Tuesday. Hopefully get an early goal and then see out the game nice and comfortably for there, mate.
To the Bridgeman there. Sorry about that. Rudy, thoughts?
Just more or less the same. But Brooks was saying, no, I do think they'll give us a game over there. I don't think. That 20-minute spell for me in the second half, when we couldn't get the ball back after them again. I was sitting there watching it and thinking, what's going on here? That's pretty much. And Bridgeman touched on it as well.
Was there not a good bit of management there by Stevie Gerrard? He accepted that, seen it, and obviously we need something different.
Aye.
I know he didn't have a great game when he came on, but he took off Candice and put on Ryan Jack. Was that no positive?
Aye, definitely. I like Ryan Jack at the best of times, but we're going to have to find a midfield combination that doesn't drop out the game, because it happened all last season, and Bridgeman touched on it. The midfield went missing in that for a spell in that second half. It might not have helped. We wanted them get off. We had to. They had to get off. He had went off injured, you know what I mean. But I still think they'll give us a game out there. I know Ibrox doesn't think that, but I think they'll give us a bit of a game out. And Cushy touched on it. The midfield's got to start. It's got to create more than it did tonight. It's got to. We can't keep having a go at Morelos if he's no, the header. Aye, all right. And we saw how many chances he missed near the end of last year, maybe from January onwards or something like that. But we need the midfield to be working properly, because even if he's no scoring, they should be. So they should, And for me, definitely the boy Middleton. Give him a start. He just get bags of confidence. He doesn't seem to be phased at all. The boy playing in front of 51,000 bears tonight didn't bother him. 41,000 last week didn't bother him. So I'd give the boy a start. He's got it on merit for me. As Cushy says, regardless of how Windass plays, but I just think he'd offer more than Windass. Getting to the byline, cutting the ball back into the box, taking players on, no being shoved after the ball. It's the same old problems for me. I don't think we've improved all that much, to be honest with you, in the midfield. Not for what I've seen tonight anyway.
All right, only time will tell. Ulster, what are people saying in the Facebook world, mate?
Well, some people just saying about Artfield, they weren't fully impressed with Artfield today on the performance, and Alfredo and Windass are sort of getting most of the stick, to be fair, from ones on Facebook. I suppose forwards are going to get it at times. It's just the way it is. But for me, myself, I think, it's not the first time we've been unconvincing in the European stage this early on. There's been better teams than this team who maybe, first sort of stages haven't really turned it on, especially when it is so early on. So that's not concerning me too much. I still think the manager will get more in. But the only thing that does concern me is Windass. We're having the same issues with him. And him being in a centre attack mid position, he is going to be pivotal for us, I think, this season, or whoever is in that position, to try and unlock defences and obviously create chances for a striker. Him going missing as he does, and I don't know how he does, because that's such an important position on the field. You should be getting the ball and always doing things, always in the right positions to get it, and somehow he plays in that such attacking role and just feel it can be go missing, and you just forget sometimes that he's on the pitch. That's what worries me. I think that needs to be sorted. Either put somebody else in there, maybe try Murphy and put Glenn Middleton on the side, or else we'll maybe have to just go out and buy ourselves an established centre attack midfield. And a striker as well. We definitely need another striker, I think. I think we need another. We've got one coming in as a loan signing. We've obviously got Zach Rudden in there. But I think we need an established striker if we can somehow afford one to come into that side, because if we're going with Morelos as a lead striker going into the next season and Windass behind him, then for me that's not good enough.
I think we need the creativity and obviously an hour forward. And when you look to the bench, Cushy, it's obvious we need another centre half in my pool, because there was no real cover for them on the bench, and you'll need it as the season goes on.
Well, I think we're trying to sign the boy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head at the moment. So talks seem to be
Cooper.
That's the one. So talks seem to be ongoing with that. So fingers crossed. I think that something comes. Something goes ahead there. As I said previously, I'm really pleased to see the focus from Gerrard on that centre of defence, because I think it's fundamental to how any football team plays. So I'm really pleased to see it. And one of the things I've not touched tonight on, which is probably a good thing, is the goalkeeping. Because Al McGregor simply had absolutely nothing to do, for the full 90 minutes. So that's always a bonus, I think. When nobody's mentioning, how poor the kickouts are or anything like that. But I'm not. I think I'm not particularly concerned about our centre of defence. I think Tav still worries me a little bit in terms of how easily he's caught kind of drifting into the centre of defence and leaving space out left. That from a defensive perspective, I think that's the worry. I think Flanagan will turn out to be a really, really good signing for us once he gets fit, and particularly once he gets match sharp. I think he will. We will struggle to keep him out of the team, and I think I think we could well see actually Declan John coming at left back and Flanagan moving to right back, particularly if Tavernier keeps getting caught out in some of the situations that he does get caught out. And I know he's been made captain, and sometimes it's hard to drop or sub your captain. And I felt it was a little bit of a strange decision from Steven Gerrard, but I think Flanagan will turn out to be a good signing for us. So I'm quite pleased, the way the defence is shaping up and the focus that Steven Gerrard has got in the defence. Not so much on some of the creative spark that we've got in the midfield, particularly with Arfield's relatively poor showing tonight, as one of the callers just touched on.
We're a team in transition, and I think the manager's obviously. I think he knows what the issues are, Rudy. I think he knows. You can tell by who's trying to sign and the loan players he's bringing in.
I'm sure he does. He knows his football, and for me, if we can sit here and watch it and see it, then I'm sure he knows. I'm sure him and Gary McAllister will have sat and discussed this, and they'll know exactly what they're looking for. Like you say, we need a creative midfielder, somebody that's capable of creating chances. We haven't had one of them for such a long time, and we've still not really got one, for what I've seen so far. Saw one going out last week, and scudding Bury 6-0, in a friendly. In the grand scheme of things, the games don't matter. These games matter. These are the games that matter. And if we do get through this, which I'm sure we will, I just expect a better game next week after them. If when we get through this and we get into the next round, it's no, you're going to be coming up against a team who's already qualified to get into the next round, So for me, it's going to be a bit harder. There's a few weeks left of the transfer window. Hopefully they can get this boy in for Millwall as far as the centre backs are going. We're pretty much sorted after you get young Aidan Wilson. The midfield, the midfield's got to be looked at for me, and we need a striker. It's like I said to you the Deox, a proper confirmed striker. You know what I mean?
They're hard to find, mate. That's a problem.
Oh, I know.
Ibrox, we must pay tribute to the support.
Oh, definitely, mate. As I think, was it Rudy? It just says there, 51,000. I just think it's absolutely outstanding, mate. Class but expected. You know what I mean? The fans always, no matter where we've been or where we're going to go, we're always going to get the fan support. That is one thing that can always be stated about our club. The fans are the greatest in the world, mate.
A lot of them have made their way to that part of the city for the third time in 6 days, mate.
Yep, exactly, mate. And don't worry about that, mate. Can I just say as well, it's sad for me to not to say it, but happy 12th of July to our brethren there across the other side of the water. Hope you had a great couple of days, Ulster, mate.
Here.
Thanks very much. I did indeed, mate.
Well, it's a great one day because he's been grounded after the first one.
That's typical 11 Ulster. That's the way I do it. I'll do it again next year too.
Also, you've got to learn. You've got to learn to control yourself. You can't just keep drinking. I'll have a word with you after the show.
Yeah, we'll do some cancels.
Dear. Cushy, the support, excellent. A team I've never heard of, sold out, supporting the manager, putting the finances into the club, because let's not kid yourself, they're important. The full house tonight, the TV money for selling the game, all helps.
I think it's absolutely stunning, to be honest with you. I really do, we it should never be taken for granted, and it should never be something that the support themselves just kind of shrug off, because it's absolutely stunning. We're not even in, it's the 12th of July. It's just, but it's so early in the calendar, in terms of football, and to get a full house, against a team who didn't bring a soul to support their own team, and it's just absolutely stunning. We shouldn't. I don't think we should talk it down. I don't think we should allow anybody to talk it down. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I hope that the players, realise what it means for these guys to turn up, as some people have said 3 times, in a very, very short space of time, and things like, Josh Windass shushing the fans and things like that should become a thing of the past, because that simply should not happen, given the loyalty that the fans have shown.
Rudy?
Aye, phenomenal once again, as always. It's like, Ibrox was saying there, class but expected. Every time they're asked to support, asked to follow the club, they do it. And there's not enough words to describe the Rangers support, to be honest with you. They are 51,000, 41,000 last week at a game against Bury, and 51,000 tonight, completely sold out Ibrox. And a team that nobody's ever heard. We're not talking about AC Milan here, or PSG. We're talking about a club that nobody did. I certainly had never heard of them. I'm quite sure none of you had heard of them. Before they were drawn against Rangers, 51,000. It's incredible, on a Thursday night at Ibrox. There's no much more that you can say about the support that we haven't already said, especially last season, They sold out everywhere they went. They've done it again tonight, and I'm sure they'll continue through the season. Steven Gerrard gets it. He talked about it, an incredible support for the Rangers fans, and he was talking about the responsibility on the team, on the players, to go and entertain and win for the fans because of the support. And he's right, they've got to realise that. And that was a good point Cushy made there about Windass last season, shushing the fans and all that, that kind of nonsense has got to stop. Maybe he should just concentrate and play his football,
Yeah. Listen, two other topic points, not a lot to do with the actual football itself. Go to Ibrox for this first. Was that a single or a double wins or not that Steven Gerrard had? And also, what about the state of the pitch, mate?
The state of the pitch, it was. I did see it at the beginning of the second half. It took me about 5 minutes to get the sprinklers back off, but
wasn't worried about that, mate. I'm talking about
but
divots every time.
I know it did thing with me. It just got relayed there throughout the summer. I think the groundsmen are going to maybe have to have a wee look at that after the match, and the tie situation, mate. I wouldn't know I'm not maybe the sort of guy now who might wear a suit the odd occasion going to Ibrox. Knew that I got to court, mate. That's about the only time I wear a suit, mate. But no, Stevie G set the standard, mate. So everybody that's got to Ibrox now is a suit and tie and a pair of brown brogues, mate. I think that's got to be me the next time I'm at Ibrox anyway.
You can get them in Cuban heels, Ibrox. Rudy, state of the pitch?
It cut up pretty badly, didn't it, for a new pitch? There was one, I can't remember who it was now. It might have been Ross McCrory, maybe. Anyway, there was one sort of tackle where it looked like there was a huge gouge after the tackle. I don't know, that's going to have to be looked at, I would imagine, Can't have a tatty field, as a playing surface. So that's maybe something that they're going to have to look at. The ground staff are going to have to look at that over the next sort of couple of weeks or so before the season kicks off properly. But I know it looked pretty bad to me, Ox. I agree with you. For a new pitch anyway, it looked kind of bad in places.
The Steven Gerrard's tie, double or single, was it for you? What did you pick out?
I would say it was a double Windsor, definitely.
I
think if Steven Gerrard's going to do something, he does it properly, mate. You know what I mean?
Oh, fair comment, mate. Cushy, the pitch, obviously a new pitch, and obviously the weather's been bizarre, but
I'm not sure whether the weather we've had, the really, really dry spell we've had since about the start of May, means that when the water on the pitch, that the water in the top layer is really wet, but the kind of underlayer is still dry, so it's just, so the pitch is cutting up really easily, So I think, no doubt, we'll get standard Scottish weather back pretty soon, and I think the pitch will settle down, and I think the grass will settle down as we get the standard Scottish weather back, But I think I've got a little bit of a feeling that the weather that we've had, the really dry spell, means that it's just the top layer is just a lot wetter than just where the roots are and what's underneath it. Not that I'm a groundsman in any shape or form, and I know absolutely nothing about pitch laying, but that's my perception at the moment, given the amount of divots I take up in my local golf course.
Here, mate. I know the feeling. Anyway. This has been Rangers Radio. I want to thank Cushy for joining us this evening. First class caller, and great to have you on board. Rudy Bear.
Aye, definitely. Talks too much sense though.
I know.
Last thing we need is him and Wheels on the show at the same time. Just show the rest.
Well, mate, up. I'm always here to bring the show back down. Don't worry about that.
How many times have you used your P45 in the post, Ibrox?
4 or 5, maybe.
Can't take your hand. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Cushy. It was great to hear from you. Don't be a stranger, mate.
No bother. It's been a pleasure, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, mate. Thanks very much. Thanks to Ibrox. Thanks to Ulster. Thanks to Rudy Bear, and also Cairo, and the Bridge. I nearly forgot about Bridgeman for taking the time to join us here in Rangers Radio. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11, talking about tonight's game and all things Rangers. Take it away, old school blue.
it's a grand old place to come from, and it's a fine old place to stay. Loyalists in every street who are not ashamed to fly the flag they stand for. We don't care what other people say, we don't give a damn. When the 12th day comes, you will find King Billy's sons on the